Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Anantikoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Aki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So I feel very honored today to be sitting as a guest, as a speaker. So I request you please give me the blessings to be able to say something inspirational. And please Krishna and all of you, his dear devotees. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 24, verse 47. This chapter is entitled Matsya, the Lord's Fish Incarnation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jano Buddho Yam Nija Karma Bandhana Sukechaya Karma Samihate Sukham Yet Sevayatam Vidunochasan Matim Grantim Sa Benjadridayam Sano Guru Jano Buddho Yam Nija Karma Bandhana Sukechaya Karma Samihate Sukham Yat Sevayatam Vidunocha Sammatim Grantim Sabin Jadridayam Sano Guru Jano Buddho Yam Nija Karma Bandhana Sukechaya Karma Samhihate Sukham Yet Sevayatam Vidunocha Sanmatim Grantim Sabin Jadridayam Sano Guru. Sukechaya Karma Samhihate Sukham Yasevayatam Vidunocha Sanmatim Sano Guru Jano Buddho Yam Nija Karma Bandhana Sukechaya Karma Samihate Sukham Yat Sevayatam Vidunocha Sammatim Grantim Sabin Jano Buddho Yam Nija Karma Bandhana Sukechaya Karma Samihate Sukham Yat Sevaya Tamvidu Nocha Sanmatim Grantim Sabinja Dridayam Sanoguru Jana Buddho Yam Nija Karma Bandhana Sukechaya Karma Bandhana. Ladies? Or Vaishnavis? Sorry. Okay. No Buddha Yam Nija Karma Bandhana I said it. Jana, the conditioned soul subjected to birth and death. A Buddha, most foolish because of accepting the body as the self. Ayam, he, nija karma bandhana, accepting different bodily forms as a result of his sinful activities. Sukha ichaya, desiring to be happy within this material world. Karma, fruit of activities. Samihate, plans. Asukam, but it is for distress only. Yat sevaya, by rendering service unto whom? Tam, the entanglement of karma. Vidunoti, clears up. Asatmatim, the unclean mentality, accepting the body as the self. Grantim, hard knot. Sa, his lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Binjat, being cut off. Hridayam, in the core of the heart. Sa, he, the Lord. Na, our Guru, the Supreme Spiritual Master. Purport by his, in hopes, translation, in hopes of becoming happy in this material world, the foolish, conditioned soul performs fruitive activities that result only in suffering. But by rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from such false desires for happiness. May my Supreme Spiritual Master cut the knot of false desires from the core of my heart. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. For material happiness, the conditioned soul involves himself in fruitive activities which actually put him into material distress. Because the conditioned soul does not know this, he is said to be in avidya, or ignorance. Because of a false hope for happiness, the conditioned soul becomes involved in various plans for material activity. Here, Maharaj Sachavrata prays that the Lord sever this hard knot of false happiness and thus become his supreme spiritual master. Once again, in hopes of becoming happy in this material world, the foolish conditioned soul performs fruitive activities that result only in suffering. But by rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from such false desires for happiness. May my Supreme Spiritual Master cut the knot of false desires from the core of my heart. Thank you for coming today. I feel very blessed to be in all of your association. So the first part of the verse describes what will not bring happiness. Happiness is not possible to get by performing fruitive activities. Why? Because fruitive activities only results in suffering. The work that one has to do to achieve those fruits is considered to be a punishment for the living entity, is temporary, and does not satisfy the soul. The second part of the verse describes how to get real happiness by rendering devotional service. One becomes free of any false desires for happiness, which are considered to be the undesirable hard knot in the core of the heart. So, ignorance is the hope of finding happiness within this material world. So there are 5 levels of ignorance. First level is avidya, or forgetfulness of our real spiritual identity, that we are the eternal servants of the Lord. From this first layer, the second one comes, asmita. Asmita is the false or material identity which we get along with the material body. This false identity is, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller of this material body, and these things connected to it, like the condition to it, in which this body is situated now, and interactions with other bodies, such as our friends, our relatives, colleagues, and society in general. Other living entities like animals, trees, plants. So we want to control everything. So enjoyment and controlling comes together, because we cannot enjoy something that doesn't belong to us. So for example, a rasgula on someone else's plate, you cannot control it. So then you have to claim it as yours. And so you may grab it off their plate and pop it in your mouth. And so this general tendency of controlling and enjoying leads to so many different varieties of our specific material desires, which we develop from being within the specific material body. All these material desires impel us and drive us to control and enjoy on our specific way. Therefore, the people will never understand each other and come to the common platform of controlling and enjoyment in order to be satisfied. There will always be tension, and as a result, quarrels and wars. So the real common platform of controlling and enjoying, that is Krishna consciousness. So how we enjoy? We enjoy through the satisfaction of Krishna by engaging in devotional service, which we can control. How we can control? We can control our devotional service according to Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, which is within our hands. So this general tendency to control and enjoy is now redirected in our bhakti and connected to Krishna. This is the only common platform of satisfaction and happiness. 3. Raga, or attachment. It sprouts from the second level of ignorance, that is asmita, our false ego. We become attached to what gives pleasure to the material body as we identify ourselves with it. 4. Dvesha, or aversion. Aversion to those things that give us displeasure according to our false ego. This attachment to aversion gives rise to the last level of ignorance. Abhinivesha, the fear of death. As with the death of this body, we lose our material enjoyment altogether. For example, we lose our relationships with our relatives, friends, family, loved ones. Fear of adhyatmika, body and mind. Fear of adidaivika, natural disturbances. Fear of adibhotika, or other bodies. So these sprout from fear of death. The fear of these in total, disturbances in total, culminates in fear of death. So the fear of death is the collection of all our totality of our existing fears. They grow on all these different levels of ignorance or forgetfulness up to the level of avidya, coming to our original position of the servants of Krishna. Then all these hard knots are cut by the mercy of the Lord. So how to get rid of these hard knots? Residing in the avidya kshetra. So it is explained here in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-2, verses 17 through 19. In these 3 verses, different different levels of getting rid of the hard knots of the material desires are described. This purification starts from Shravanam, the first method of Navanga Bhakti, of the 9 main methods of devotional service. Shringvatam swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana ridantasto ya abhadrani vidunoti suritsatam. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. This is the level of Kanishta. When one develops the Shastri Shraddha, or faith in Shastra, which will manifest as the urge to hear Shastra, the messages of the Lord. As it is said in the previous verse, this faith in Shastra, or the urge to hear it, is gotten by serving pure devotees. By serving the servants of the Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants, and thus becomes qualified to hear the glories of God. Then he gets rid of the gross desires in the heart by the Lord himself. That means that one has to develop at least this one spiritual desire based on spiritual faith, to hear messages of Krishna, so that the Lord would start cleansing one's material desires. It is also interesting that one can't cleanse them oneself, but only the Lord can do it under the above conditions. Srimad Bhagavatam 1-18. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. This is the level of Majjhim Adhikari, when all the abhadra, or impurity, in the heart is almost completely destroyed, and service to the Lord, but now impelled by one's love, becomes irrevocable. Srimad Bhagavatam 1-19. Tada rajastamo bhava kamolo bhaidayaschaye cheta eter anividham stitam sattve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes completely happy. Haribol. This is the level of Uttam Adhikari, or transcendental goodness, Shuddha Sattva, when all the effects of the material body modes disappear from the heart, and one becomes completely happy in one's service to the Lord without any material disturbances. So unless and until we give up this false hope and maintain this spirit of being the controller and the enjoyer of this material world, our material desires will remain and will remain an anchor in the path of our bhakti. So, Mother Ganga is likened to devotional service. And unless we lift up the anchor, we cannot float to the ocean of prema along the stream of devotional service. Maya will only come if we invite her into our life by meditating and contemplating the objects of sense gratification, sense pleasures. So sometimes even as devotees we think that there is hope in finding happiness in chasing the objects of the senses. Maintaining this tendency for optimism within this material world is a trap that keeps us from fully surrendering to Krishna. So, my dear devotees, we must be strict to not allow our minds to wander off and meditate on these desires that sprout up from within the core of the heart. Rather, we should pray to the Lord to sever this false knot of material happiness. We can pray, my dear Lord Krishna, I have this hard knot in my heart, and I know what I should or shouldn't do. So please, cut this knot of material attachment. I cannot do it myself. If we pray and try, the Lord will help us and mercy will come. We need to actually come to the point where we just want to please Krishna. So I have a nice story I would like to narrate to you. There's one devotee of Lord Shiva who came to Sanatana Goswami. This person was a Shaivite, and he had a dream. Lord Shiva came to him in a dream and told him to go to Sanatana Goswami to get the most valuable thing in the world, and thus fulfill all his desires. This Shaivite came to Sanatana Goswami and told him the reason he was coming. Sanatana Goswami told him, "Oh yes, I have it. If you want to fulfill your desires, then you can go collect it over there in the pile of garbage." He told him where it was, and he said, "Yes, it's a touchstone. It turns gold, it turns everything into gold." So he was very happy nonetheless. So he took the stone and went. But then he was contemplating, why, if it was so valuable and can fulfill all desires, then why did he keep it within the garbage? Again, he came to Sanatana Goswami and asked him, "My dear sir, I think you have something more valuable than this touchstone. Can you please give it to me? That which is the most valuable?" Sanatana Goswami said, "First you need to throw that touchstone away. Now sit down. I will give you the most valuable thing I own, the holy name of the Lord, the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." So the moral? The holy name of Lord Krishna is more valuable than all the material happiness within the three worlds. In fact, the totality of the so-called material happiness is just a drop of happiness one gets from Brahman realization, or that I am eternal spirit soul, not this body. And the totality of Brahman is but only one drop of the unlimited ocean of Ananda one gets from devotional service, or Premananda. So, I'd like to share a new mantra with you today. I get to chant. I love to chant. I want to chant. So, I have a few verses I wanted to share from Harinam Chintamani about what is a Vaishnav. The outward signs of Varnashram. One does not become a saintly devotee by wearing certain kinds of clothing. Taking shelter of Lord Krishna is the mark of a true devotee. Certain kinds of clothing mark the various positions in Varnashram. However, one's status as a devotee is not marked in this way. Taking shelter of Lord Krishna is the mark of a devotee. From a devotee's mouth comes the chanting of Lord Krishna's holy name. Grihasta, Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasis are the first four divisions, and Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahman are the second four divisions of Varnashram. One is not known as a devotee by these divisions. A devotee is known because he takes shelter of Lord Krishna. This the scriptures say. So there are different levels of what is a Vaishnav. So these are the talks between Srila Haridas Thakur and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Chaitanya is saying, the qualities of a Vaishnav. Anyone who once says the holy name is a Vaishnav. A householder should carefully honor him. The qualities of a most exalted Vaishnav. Anyone from whose mouth one always hears the holy name of the Lord. Krishna, of Lord Krishna, is a more exalted Vaishnav. He is the abode of all good qualities. And the qualities of the most exalted Vaishnav? Simply by seeing him, one feels devotion to Lord Krishna and finds Lord Krishna's holy name in one's mouth. That is a most exalted Vaishnav. So, some of the primary names of the Lord: Govinda, Gopal, Ramashri, Nanda, Nandana, Radhanath, Hari, Yashamati, Pranadan, Madana, Mohan, Shamasundara, Madhava, Gobinata, Raja, Gopa, Rakala, Yadava, Rupa, Nitya, Prakashaka, Nama, Shaba, Kirtane, Jivapaya, Krishnadam, Govinda, Gopal, Sri Nanda, Nandana, Radhanath, Hari, Yashamati, Pranadan, Madan Mohan, Shamasundar, Madhava, Gopinath, Raja Gopa, Rakala, and Yadava are examples of names that describe the Lord's eternal pastimes. By chanting these names, the spirit soul attained Lord Krishna's abode. So, I'll stop there. And forgive me, this is my first time for giving class, so I had one day to prepare yesterday, so I spent the full day preparing and all morning since 3 a.m. So if anyone has any comments, corrections, additions, or would like to share something today about this verse? Yes.
I like very much the description you made. You mentioned how to get rid from material desires. You mentioned. You mentioned. Thank you very much for your class. First of all, I really like it, and I like something that you mentioned about how to get rid from material desires. I think I got it right. And you said one way is by taking shelter of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and this we can control, no? And I found very nice, because sometimes we just look at the outside of a devotee, and we don't know if that devotee is taking shelter of these three sources, you know? So I really appreciate it, and I was willing to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for many nice points. I just had one question. I never heard those three verses, 1 to 17 to 19. The first one describing the neophyte, the second one describing the madhyama, and the third describing uttama. Where did you find that? I'm curious.
Yeah, it's in Srimad Bhagavatam.
It's actually in the Bhagavatam, huh?
Yeah,
in the purport?
Here, I have it. It's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, verses 17 through 19.
Right, yeah, but where is it described that the first one describes a neophyte, and the second one describes a madhyama, and the third one describes an uttama? Is it in that section in the purport, or was it in the class you heard, or because I hadn't heard that idea before?
Yes, it's in the purport.
It's in the purport, huh? Okay. And that verse with the different names of Krishna, was that from Harinam Chintamani?
Yeah, that's from Harinam Chintamani.
That's a beautiful verse.
The different names. I really like reading Harinam Chintamani because it gives you a lot of faith in the chanting of the glories of the holy name and the primary names as the means of direct deliverance of the conditioned soul in the path of bhakti.
And one last thing, that verse talks about how although everyone's looking for happiness, they're not finding it. And it reminded me of another verse by Prahlad Maharaj that sort of talks about that idea too. He says, in this material world, every materialist desires to achieve happiness and diminish his distress. Therefore, he acts accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activities for happiness, his conditions of distress begin.
Yeah, that's actually, in a sense, kind of funny because everyone in the material world is chasing after these things, and we're so convinced, everyone is so convinced that if I get this object or this job or this man or woman or whatever he's striving to achieve within this world, this position, even some power or control, that I will be happy. And then when he gets it, he's actually the opposite. Actually, there was a story just recently of a man, young in his early 20s, who committed suicide. And outwardly, he had everything. He was a famous musician. He had 1 billion hits on YouTube, more than like around 3 billion hits. Everybody was watching his, following him. And very famous like this. All the money in the world. He had a beautiful wife, or girlfriend who was a model. And then what happened 6 months ago? He committed suicide. Very tragic. And and then he's so convinced that once I get this thing, I'm going to be happy. But actually, once he achieved it, once he attained it, he became so unhappy. Why? Because people were just chasing after him to get something from him. They didn't care about him because of the purity of his heart or his personality. They were following him because they wanted something from him. So these are the false happinesses of this material world, that people are only interested or attracted to us based on what they think they can get from us. So
actually, that reminds me, there's another nice purport where in the Gita, chapter 14 talks about the modes of material nature. If the world is devoted to the modes of passion and ignorance, there's no peace or prosperity. In the mode of passion, people become greedy and their hankering for sense enjoyment has no limit. One can see that even if one has enough money and adequate arrangements for sense gratification, there is neither happiness nor peace of mind. That is not possible because one is situated in the mode of passion. If one wants happiness at all, his money will not help him. He has to elevate himself to the mode of goodness by practicing Krishna consciousness.
Haribol! Thank you very much.
Is there any mention where did Sanatan Goswami got this touchstone from?
I'm not sure, yeah. It's just a pastime, a story that captivated me. I've heard from all this sadhus, and I thought it was really nice to share.
Thank you, Mataji. It was a wonderful class.
Thank you. Thank you for all for coming and supporting me and encouraging me to speak today. Anything else? Oh.
Thank you. Nice. At the beginning you mentioned giving up controlling and enjoying tendency, like material life, but then utilizing that tendency in spiritual life. So usually we think, we can be really happy and, we can be blissful in spiritual life, but the controlling tendency, I thought that was interesting because sometimes when I think, I should give up controlling, we shouldn't be a controller, we just depend on Krishna. But you said we should use that controlling in Krishna's service, and I thought that was interesting because we can't just leave everything to fate. We have to take responsibility for our lives, and you said how we have to use controlling in serving Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. So we have to make the right choices and choose our association and control our environment so it's favorable for Krishna consciousness. Anyway, just made me think.
Yeah, it's a really important factor, like controlling our minds. For example, if our mind is wandering when we're chanting our japa, and our mind is wandering off, what do I have to do? What do I have to cook? Even our services that we have to do throughout the day, various activities. So we can use that controlling ability to control and direct our consciousness to serving Krishna or focusing on chanting the Lord's holy name and directing our activities throughout the day in various services to either uplift us and further our progress in Krishna consciousness, so that, Anything else?
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the presentation. In the beginning you spoke about the progression of ignorance or the development of ignorance, different stages, where is that from? Where can I find that?
Where the different stages of...
Ignorance.
Oh, the five... The 5 points. I'm not sure where... It was just through some Shastric references through some of the classes I attended. I don't know the exact verse. I can look for it and give it to you later.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Abhinivesha. That, yeah. Okay. Oh, in the third canto of the Bhagavatam, the different... Okay. The third canto. Okay, we can look it up and find out the exact verses for future reference so we can study and put it into practice. Should I? Okay, yeah, of course. I will share it. Where shall I... Should I put it up on the board or something to share with all of you? The forum. Okay, that's the Mayapur forum. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for tolerating me and blessing me by your association. Actually, I'm the student here. You're all teaching me. I spent the full day studying and I didn't really have so much time, so it was in quite a bit of a distress to put it all together. So I'm sorry if there's some, omitted things there, like the Shastric reference to the verses I was quoting. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.